Directly from 42nd Street in Midtown Manhattan, New York, I am your host Harbin and you're watching my channel YOLO, You Only Live Once. Welcome. Today we are going to talk about what is hospital indemnity insurance and whether it is worth having such an insurance while you're working. The Hospital Indemnity Insurance is a supplemental hospital insurance plan designed to pay for the cost of a hospital admissions that may not be covered by any insurance. But it does not care about whether anything is covered by insurance or not. But it still basically will pay out based on your hospital admissions. The plan cover employees who are admitted to hospital or ICU for a covered sickness or injury. So it's very important. This plan only pays out if you get admitted to a hospital and you stay there. If you go to an emergency room, you get treated in an emergency room, but you basically get discharged without getting admitted to hospital, you cannot get paid by this insurance. So these things were not very clear when I actually signed up for this insurance, because I signed up for this insurance through my employer, and I actually signed up for this insurance with MetLife. I have this insurance through MetLife, and MetLife has two plans, the high plan and the low plan. The high plan gives you $1,000 per hospital admission along with $200 per day of the hospital, while the low plan actually gives you $500 per hospital admission and then $100 per day of the hospital. But the $200 and the $100 is after the first 24 hours. So the days they count after the first 24 hours. So first 24 hours are covered by the $1,000 or the $500. But as stated, that this insurance pays you out only if you go to an emergency room or you go to a hospital and you get admitted. If you go to an emergency room, you get treated and subsequently you are discharged. There are a lot of time with the advancement of medical health system. Most of the surgeries now actually take place in outpatient departments, in OPDs. So you basically go to a hospital, get a surgery done, then you are in the post-operative care in a room, and you spend a couple of hours over there, and then they monitor it, and then they discharge you without admitting you into the hospital. If that is the case, then this insurance will not cover anything, okay, or will not pay out anything. So this I came to know only when I actually filed the claim. So you check out my video. I suffered a heart attack in January of 2023, and then subsequently went to emergency room, and then subsequently got admitted and stayed in the hospital for 2 days. When I came back home after a couple of weeks, I basically came across that, okay, I do have this insurance, why not basically file claim and get the money out from them. And then I went to the MetLife online account, and I found that my policy that I have in that account was actually an older policy which was cancelled a couple of years back. And then I restarted paying for this insurance last year, and that new policy was not attached to my account. It took me actually 3-4 weeks to get the new policy attached to my online account because the only option you have to file a claim is either through online or by mail or regular mail. They don't have any over the phone claim process, and they don't process any claims on the phone. That was actually a really like a bad thing. The customer service on that from MetLife was horrible, and it took me 3-4 weeks to have my policy appear in my online account. But the online account process, claim process, filing was straightforward. I was able to basically file my claim, upload all the documents they needed, the hospital discharge certificates, the document, and the insurance payment processing. Basically they ask for the explanation of benefit, where the insurance are billed by the hospitals, and then insurance says that okay, how much they have paid and how much there's a like co-payment for the how much is covered and how much is patient responsibility, and then they look at that, and it seems they maybe basically they look at your responsibility before they pay out. That's what might have happened, but they do need that explanation of benefit from the insurance. Those are the two main things, I think. Other than that, they needed to set up an online. They said that okay, whether you want a check mail to your postal address or you want automatic deposit in your bank. I went for automatic deposit to my bank account, and I got the payment in a couple of weeks. The processing was not bad. Okay, it takes at least so it took 3 to 4 weeks to basically get the account set up online. Once the account was set up, I was able to file the process within 2 weeks, and I got the money within 3 weeks. So in my bank account. So they paid me $500 for the admission, and then $100 for an additional stay in the hospital. Now, looking at my premium per month for this insurance was $17 with my employer for both me and my wife. But like okay, they paid out $600 for an event like a heart attack. So you can see that okay, for a normal operations, most of the time it will be done in an OPD. You will not be covered. You will not get any payment. Even if you go to an emergency case in case of an accident or something, and if they don't admit you and you're sent home, even if it is after 12 hours or even 24 hours, unless they admit you, the insurance doesn't pay. This insurance doesn't pay. So taking that into account, taking the hassles I had to go through by not having this account online, I don't think it's worth, because okay, I've already made payment for like 18 months. It'll be 2 years basically for this new. When I started this new plan, the old plan I never actually utilized. So this was the first claim anyway. So I would have paid more in premium than I got paid for this hospital admission. So taking that into account, I don't think it will make much sense. You are better off depositing that premium into an account and actually just basically use that money, like whatever your portion of the hospital stay your insurance won't cover. I think more important thing to look for when you actually have a medical insurance is what is max out of pocket expenses. That okay, if your max out of pocket expenses are limited, like in my case from my insurance, the maximum out of pocket expenses were $3,000. So I ended up after I actually paid $3,000, insurance has covered everything 100%. So that means you are on the hook at the most for anything $3,000 for the whole years basically, and then insurance pays everything on top of it. So I think that is something more important, that okay, if you want to control it, you control your maximum out of pocket expenses than going for all these type of insurance. Okay, they sounds good. I also signed up because I thought, okay, they might be just paying it whenever you actually had to go to emergency room or get admitted to a hospital or any case of emergency, but that's not the case. Okay, they have a lot of restrictions on top of it, like, okay, they don't pay unless you get admitted to hospital, which is nowadays, like, okay, with the advancement of technology, medical sciences, the chances of somebody getting admitted to a hospital are being reduced. Okay, so I hope basically I've given a good sense of where this hospital indemnity insurance stand, and I don't think it's worth, but you should do your homework also before you basically make a decision. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment. Thank you.